Can you guys hear me now? You can hear me? Good. Oh my gosh, that took ever. Google was, or I guess YouTube was having issues. Yeah, this is going to be part 2, lucky girl, because I am so sorry, y'all. Like YouTube, like the last time I went live, it just kept, I could see the chat, but then on my side, it just kept, the little spinny thing, like going live, and it was just stuck like that forever. And then my microphone, it wasn't picking up my microphone. And then what happened? And then it wouldn't let me log in. It was trying to authenticate me. It was a whole fiasco. So sorry about that, y'all. But we're back. And so far it's working. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm trying to get into YouTube Studio here and see what in the bananas is going on. This is really going to make me angry. It's really going to make me angry, like real, real bad. Hold on, you guys. Okie dokie. This is really going to piss me off with YouTube. So I've been on 3 minutes and 33 seconds as of right now, when I was finally able to get on. And I went into YouTube Studio to make sure that I was monetized. I haven't even been on for 5 minutes, and it says I'm limited because this video may earn limited or no ad revenue due to content identified as not suitable for most advertisers. I haven't said anything. Wow. Effing YouTube, man. Anyways, hold on. Let me go refill my drink, because I did do that, lucky girl. Hold on. Let me go in here. I did that before I went live. And I have it set to custom for one, you have to be subscribed for 1 day. That's how it's set in YouTube as of right now. Shit's gonna piss me off. YouTube's just being all kinds of weird. So that's how I have it set, lucky girl. Hey, Sylvia. Oh, they know I'm going to say something? I can't. Oh, it's been flooded. Maybe that's what's going on because I tried like 3 or 4 different times. I couldn't get on. Then it wasn't picking up my microphone. I went in my settings. My microphone was off. I unplugged my webcam. I plugged it back in. I'm telling you, it was just a whole fiasco. So, and then as of right now, my ad suitability is limited, even though I haven't said nothing, saying content is not suitable for most advertisers. It's like, dude, I haven't said nothing. So, yeah. Oh, they're on. Okay, so Midas Touch is live right now and they have 36,000 people in the chat. Okay. So, yeah, I'm sure YouTube is like going all sorts of nuts. Hold on. Let me go refill my drink. Ugh. So I didn't even have like a glass of champagne or nothing last night because, you know, I got my excitement prematurely like a week ago. Also, we were watching opening day of baseball for the Dodgers yesterday, first game of the season. And tomorrow, Peanut and I will be down up in Dodger Stadium in LA because we're going to the game tomorrow. So it'll be the Dodgers against Arizona Diamondbacks. So we'll be at that game. First game of the season. Woohoo! Go Dodgers. So we'll be there. Oh, you drank enough for both of us, Patty? That's good. That's good. So how's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? Oh, hey, Sebastian. For all the pirate language. Lucky girl. Autumn's here, you guys. Sebastian. Everybody say hello. I'm doing good, Terry. The Dodgers had a good game last night. The San Diego Padres lost, so that's good. We got the news that the mango was indicted. Super fun times. I'm over here cracking up, laughing my ass off because, you know, the lock her up crowd is all of a sudden in an outrage because Trump was indicted. And they're like, this is political persecution. Hey, Spirit, thank you so much. It's political persecution. It's like, yeah, that's the same thing y'all were doing to Hillary Clinton and Hunter Biden, but okay. You know, I got put in Twitter timeout yesterday for the first time in my life. For the first time in my life, I got put in Twitter timeout yesterday. They took my rights to tweet or like or answer anybody for a whole day. And that was because Twitter is currently a dumpster fire of extremist, right-wing, fascist propagandist and GOP bullshittery. And someone had posted something that Ted Cruz was saying on the Senate floor during a committee hearing or something like, I don't even know. And my reply was something about, you know, we know this is all false. It's been proven. But if that's the hill he wants to die on, go ahead. They timed me out for that tweet for saying if Ted Cruz wants to die on that hill, you know, even though we all know it's bullshit. I didn't curse or nothing. Nothing. because I said, if that's the hill he wants to die on. Meanwhile, while I was in Twitter timeout, I was scrolling through and I'm like, so I got put on timeout for saying, if that's the hill he wants to die on. And meanwhile, all these other people are posting tweets of like, tweets that they're getting from extreme right wingers, calling them all sorts of stuff, which is like made me blush, you know? And I was like, wait, how the hell am I getting put in timeout for being like, you know, I wasn't dropping F-bombs or anything. I just said, if that's the hill he wants to die on. Meanwhile, these people are going crazy on Twitter, harassing people, calling them names, telling them to go unalive themselves. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know? So with all this talk about TikTok, nope, they need to go regulate Twitter because that place is a hostile, neo-Nazi, propagandist dumpster fire full. And it's been proven. I'm not the one making this up. It was in the freaking Mueller report that there's foreign agents all over Twitter, you know? So it's just, I'm just like, oh dear God, the dumpster fire that is Twitter. You got put in timeout for saying you wanted to slap Boebert? Yeah, it's like, but then all these neo-Nazis and fascists are saying horrible shit on there. Like, yeah, that's probably why I got put in timeout, Patty, because I said die and Ted Cruz in the same sentence. That's probably exactly why. Y'all want to slap Boebert? I don't. I think it's pretty funny. I think she's hilarious. I mean, that's comic relief right there. She is an intellectual juggernaut, that one right there. Lauren Boebert is a lot lizard. Oh my gosh, there's this video floating around on Twitter of Lauren Boebert doing an interview just recently. And she was arguing that guns aren't the number one killer of children, it's abortions. And that's why she's so happy for her son and his girlfriend having a baby. I'm like, does this bitch know what the hell is coming out of her mouth? Like, I was like, what the freaking bananas, man? Like, oh my God. Guns isn't the number one killer of children. It is abortions. And that's why she's happy that for her 17-year-old son and his girlfriend. Oh my gosh. She is so freaking dumb. I can't. So yeah. So anyways, I'm having a good old time watching the right wing losing their goddamn minds. It's great. And I'm here for it. Marjorie Taylor Greene is telling people that she'll see them in New York next Tuesday. So I guess she's planning a little field trip to the courthouse where Trump is to be arraigned. And I'm like, go ahead, girl. Go ahead, you trailer park freaking trash, and try to stir up some shit because you're going to fuck around and find out real quick in New York. You know, you may put up with your bullshit in the House because it's being ran by a bunch of clowns, but don't try that shit. And I can almost see it. She'll go over there, she'll pull some shit, she'll get in trouble, she'll get arrested, and then go on a freaking media tour about how New York and the Democrats are out to get the Republicans and throw everybody in jail. And yet, I mean, I can so see something like that happening with her because she is so predictable. And that girl she's thirsting for attention, man. Like, she'll go anywhere where there's cameras. And then Lindsey Graham did an interview about Donald Trump being indicted, and it was freaking hilarious. He was almost in tears, like almost in tears. So that was freaking funny. So yeah, I've been having a good chuckle today. We see her 17-year-old son had no business being with a 14-year-old. Yeah. Hey, Sunflower. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, Lindsay's been crying. I'm just over here just, if I were a better person, I may not be gloating, but I told y'all I ain't Mother Teresa, and I'm having a freaking hell of a time. I am cracking up so bad over here. So bad. So, you see? Beverly, you have a chance because that race with Bimbo Bobert and the guy that was running against her was the closest one. It was like 560 something vote difference. And he's running against her again in 24. So she's not safe. Her seat is not safe. So I would get active on that. Lindsey Graham was crying because Trump invited, excuse me, indicted. Huh? You haven't gotten to the point of laughing, but you're close. Oh, I have been kicking and screaming, laughing and giddy since the news broke. And I got a text from my friend Allie. I don't know if she's in here tonight in the chat, but she texted me and I was like, wait, what? And then I went on Twitter and I was looking and looking and looking. I kept refreshing the page and then I saw it and I was like, holy shit. Hey, John, thank you so much. I was like, holy shit, dude. Never thought I'd see the freaking day. So keep them coming, keep them coming. So this here is the Grand Tableau, and I'm sorry you cannot see these cards very clearly because the light is hitting them. This is the Grand Tableau we did this month on the 13th, March 13th, 2023. In this tableau, he was landing right here. So this was his column for March. And I had said, indictment watch for how many months? Exactly, John. So this, I don't know if you were here for the part one of this for March 13th. So I'm just going to give a quick rundown. Thank you so much, Lucky. So this was his column right here for March. So we have the tree, the man, the mountain, the moon, garden down here on the line of fate, but I'm just going to leave that out for now because I don't want to be adjusting the camera back and forth. For the month of March, I did not see the law because it's this way. I said in the part one of this that the law doesn't come in until next month, which is April. This column right here. And I had said I was having trouble seeing if it was Stormy Daniels, if it was Fannie Willis, because there's a woman here. There's a woman here with the bouquet. That's the Queen of Spades. There's a woman here next to it, the Queen of Clubs. Okay. So there's a woman here, the coffin, and the tower. The tower is the law. Tower sits in the house of woman. So that's why I was saying I don't see the law or the courts until next month. Well, he was just indicted a couple days ago, and they are reporting today, I think it was, that he is supposed to be going to New York on Tuesday, which would be April 4th. So again, here's the column for April. Okay. To answer questions, I do not see trouble with extradition or having to put out a warrant for his arrest or anything like that. Why? Because if you follow this column down, it's woman, bouquet, coffin, and then the tower. The mountain sits above it. Now, if it was tower mountain below or tower mountain behind it, I would say there's going to be a delay in the courts or there's something that's obstructing him from the courts. Okay. But no. Do I see him fleeing the country before anybody starts asking, is he going to go to Saudi Arabia? Blah, blah. No, I do not see that. Why? Because ship is out of reach. It's down way down here. He doesn't talk to it. Okay. I don't see that. And there's no action cards around him either. This is a mood card. 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 There's no action cards directly around him. Okay. That would talk about him going somewhere. So he would need to be close to the writer for him to visit somewhere or run away. He would need to be close to the ship, which would be him like transporting something. And he kind of knights over here to the storks, but the storks is more like a move or a change. Okay. So and because he's sitting close to the house, he knights over here to the house and he's got the tree above him. He's rooted. He's stable at home. Okay. Do I see him? Hey, me, myself. I hope you caught part one of this because I'm going over stuff as like the crap has just hit the fan just recently. Thank you so much. So because the house sits closer and he's got the tree right there, this is in regards in the grand tableau. Oh, you didn't catch part one. Okay, I'll try to hit the highlights of part one from what I remember. In a grand tableau, when the tree sits very close, that's usually indicative of something that is health related that you need to pay attention to. He's got the coffin here. This would be an illness. Okay. If you box him in this way, we got lilies, which you can't really see because of the glare. Lilies, the tree, the woman, the fox, the man, the bouquet, the letter, the mountain, and the coffin. He doesn't quite have the cluster that would signify a really bad illness. He would need the mice, the whip, the tower, the tree. There's another one I'm missing. Where is it? Nope, I think that's it. All he has is this two. So this looks more like age-related health issues. With the mountain here, headaches. But it's almost like with the mountain or the tree knighting over here to the letter, that might be some sort of a health report where they might try to find some type of strategy around it in their argument, arguing that this is because he has dementia. Okay. I'm not seeing prostate cancer or any cancer because stars is too far away. Stars is way over here. This would be something that spreads and metastasizes. This is the prostate. It's not close. When I box him in this way, lilies is sitting on ship. Fox is sitting on whip. Letter is sitting on tower. Tree on house, man on birds, mountain on garden, woman in the house of tree, bouquet in the house of child, coffin in the house of mountain. Hey, chat. Thank you so much. Did you catch part one of this? Hey, Trillium. How are you? So when I look at this here too, there's several charges that are coming, more than one, because the crossroads falls behind the cross. So it's the cross is suffering, burden, guilt, sacrifice. Okay, so there's several coming from an investigation. The fox is very strategic. And Crossroads gives you options where to take your exit. They may look at health excuses as an option. Well, he didn't mean to do that. He has dementia. There's an age-related issue with him because he's sick. Man and coffin, sick. Okay. I wouldn't say tickets to the park because of the cards surrounding this right here. Okay. Because he's got the clover here. That's not tickets to the park. And if you follow this line down, something age related, the man, chronic illness here. That might be a strategy that hey, Allie, I was telling them that you had texted me to give me the news the other day, and I was like, holy bananas. So good to see you. And it's, wow. I hope I'm not interrupting your bedtime. I came on earlier than I normally do, but I had some issues going live, Allie. It took me a minute to finally get this video up. So there's that we discussed. In part 1, I was saying that I wasn't sure if this was Fannie Willis or the Stormy Daniels situation, because there's a woman that sits below the tower sitting on Housewoman, and the woman is right here. Okay. So one way to interpret this is woman, gift, and then this is loss or endings. Metaphorically, because it sits next to the moon, which moon would be nighttime, this could be a bed. Bouquet, nights down to the whip, pleasurable sex. Whip is broom and whip is sex, addictions, arguments, strife, competitions, criticisms, anything physical, something that has a pattern to it. Okay. So I was having a difficult time, but I did say that something comes up in the courts around a woman in April so we are right here. He goes to court Tuesday on the 4th. Okay. So this is where we're at right here. When we discussed this line going this way in part 1 of this tableau. Oh, hey, Jenny. And I want to thank Jenny too. Oh, you were in the basement? What happened? Why were you in the basement, Jenny? Why were you hiding in the basement? Oh, tornadoes? Are you freaking kidding me right now? Damn. Well, I'm glad to see you're okay. Jenny, Allie's in the chat. $90-mile-an-hour winds. Holy crap. There's a branch down in your front yard. It didn't damage anything though, right, Jenny? You're okay? Like your property and everything is okay? You're over there too, William, where the storms are at? You guys just lost power? God damn. I'm so sorry, y'all. You're in Ohio. Okay, so you're kind of around over there. No damage, but a big branch down. Okay. Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear, Jenny. Considering that I just discovered it was raining inside of my house the other day. That's why I texted you guys. I was like, I need to call the insurance company. So exactly, Terry. Exactly. But you know what? fuck it, because short-term profits, short-term profits. You don't know where your garbage cans are? Check the neighbor's house. Oh, let me text Ona while we're at it to make sure homegirl's okay. Hold on. Let me text my little Ona because I love that girl and I just want to make sure she's. Yeah, I just texted her to see if she's. I didn't know that there was a tornado or tornado watches or whatever the hell's going on over there. I just texted her to see if she's all right. So going back to this, this line this way, when we were talking about it, there was a lot that was to be discussed here because there's several charges coming from several investigations around false electors, manipulated records of the results that led to impeachment. Two impeachments here. Here's this, and then this one above it is changing the election for something that was desired, that was a criminal conspiracy that was widespread among the many. There's the impeachment there. So when we were following this line, I was getting all of that. Plus, I was talking about the man that gifted something that was false. We discussed this being quite possibly a mistress because there's 3 women here. This one would be more like Melania, the wife. This one is the queen. The bouquet is the queen of spades. And then there's the queen of clubs. Okay. So there's like 3 women right here. Oh, here's Ona. Hold on. Sorry, I was checking in with Ona. She just texted back. She's doing okay. I was saying that the partner in a grand tableau usually presents as a woman. But if I look at these pips, there's 2 more right here. So there's a cluster of 3 women here. This would be more like his wife, and then there's 2 other ones here. Okay? But there were gifts that were falsified, and also him being happy to betray an executive that was some sort of a partner or a colleague. So we were talking about Mike Pence and everybody else, because if you follow this line back, it's around the elections. But in the same extent, because the crossroads is sitting on House Scythe, there's multiple charges and more than one area that brings danger. When you follow it this way, I also said that this could also be the financial advisor, because bear is finances, dog is the advisor. Now let me back it up. In this tableau, he had bear in its own house, which is power, its strength, its food, its finances, its control. Okay. You have the sun in its own house, which is success, its energy, its optimism, its triumph. It's a lot of heat, a lot of energy. And also in this tableau, ring sits in the house of mice, mice sits in the house of ring. So these 2 are mirroring each other. A conspiracy to steal something, an agreement with the ring to take something and steal. Okay, so there's more than one instance: financial fraud and the criminal conspiracy to defraud, Also the criminal conspiracy to regain and have absolute power, to cling to it. Okay. So, but when we were talking, besides the January 6th situation, the gifts that were falsified and lied about, and the financial advisor, we went down this column and I said, this person has knowledge and he will speak. So we're not just looking at Mike Pence and anybody else that was in an executive position that will speak against him, but also the financial advisor. Okay. Because this person had knowledge, because the Lennies can be literal. Okay. Not only did he have knowledge, but this is also could be the literal books. Books of what kind? Follow this line. Books of the financial windfalls, and then government here. This, the tower, the government, the institution, knights here to the snake, lying to the government, lying to institutions. Okay. So the financial stuff, and I was saying this goes this way, but Alan Weiselberg speaking shows up 1, 2, 3, 4 columns ahead of him. Okay, so Alan Weiselberg may speak before, and we may hear about it in about 3 more months, because Alan Weiselberg is, I think he's at Rikers Island, is he not? Alan Weiselberg, he's over at Rikers. Yeah, but he's going to talk. He's going to answer. This man, this person here, the financial advisor, dog sits on stars. Okay. Stars goes back to book. He becomes the star witness. Okay. And has vast knowledge of what was in the books financially. He speaks with the birds and he negotiates, and following that is the key. The key is answers. He will speak and answer. Key sits on house moon. Follow the moon. Moon is in house man. Man is in house birds. He'll speak against him. And not just Weiselberg, but other advisors that were in senior and executive positions. Okay? And you got to think, Alan Weiselberg is he in his late 70s? And he's spending time at Rikers? And then it's being reported also that he is no longer taking Trump's legal counsel, because Trump was paying for Weiselberg's lawyers. He's not paying for the lawyers anymore, and Weiselberg is getting his own counsel. So if that tells you anything, this guy is going to talk and answer questions. He's 75 years old. 75 years old, even if he's only doing 4 months at Rikers. Oh, Terry Solares is saying that he's 76. Yeah, so even if he's 76 years old, doing 4 months at Rikers, that seems like nothing to us. But you got to think, this man has been living the high life in New York as a millionaire his whole life, and you're going to throw his old decrepit ass at freaking Rikers? Yeah, see, if you look here, the dog sings. Birds, what do birds do? They tweet, they chirp, they sing. He sings like a bird. He's going to sing like a bird, and he's going to answer questions about him and the agreement that was made to take away and steal something. Now, around the law here, oh shit, 90 mile per hour winds and tornado warning. Let's see here. So there's that. I don't know who Weiselberg's lawyer is right now, but I just saw on MSNBC, was it yesterday or the day before, that Weiselberg doesn't have the Trump lawyers anymore. He'll be 76 in the fall. Yep. Well, that bird is going to sing right here. And like I said, if he has spoken before and we will hear about it 4 columns ahead, well, we're here now. This is the column that we're on right now. So it'll be 1, 2, 3 columns ahead. Oh yeah. They squeezed his balls hard enough to where he's like, all right, I'll talk. I'll talk. So now what else was I saying in this tableau? So we covered that. We covered that. Now, I don't see the mango being confined. I don't see it. If anything, he stays rooted at home. But I don't see him confined or suffering or anything like that. He's closer to the house than he is to over here. Okay. So with that said, he's, well, this man is going to run his mouth. He sits on house birds. Okay. No, it's not house arrest. It's almost like, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but it's not house arrest or anything like that. There's something here where he is not permitted to travel, because this would be flight by air. This is arriving and this would be moving away and flying. Well, you need storks nights here to letter is in the house of tower, and it nights to tower. Okay. But it's blocked here, and it's taken away here, and it's cut here. Okay. So he may be made to surrender passports or anything like that. But I don't see him going anywhere. It's like he's rooted. He's fucking stuck. He's not going anywhere. So don't come at me on Sunday nights. Is he going to Russia? Is he going to Saudi Arabia? Based on this tableau, no, he's rooted. It's almost like there's an official order that he cannot leave. Okay. So I wouldn't even worry about that. And if this is records to fly by air, it's taken away here and it's blocked here and ended here. Do you see what I'm saying? Because he sits on house birds, he's going to loudmouth. He's going to communicate and talk. That's going to get him in trouble. The whip is sitting on house lilies. That could be criticism and criticisms. And because it's sitting next to the tower and it nights here to you can't see it. It nights here to the garden. Okay. If we look at what's surrounding the tower, so this is where he's going next month. This is the column for April. Okay. This is where he's going next month. He'll be in the courts. Even if it's really, really short and he has to travel there just to get arraigned or whatever it is. Okay. The obstructions, delays, obstacles come to an end very quickly. Okay. So it's like a small window. Here, with the moon, the tower, and the broom and whip, this is almost like his infamy of arguing with the courts and legal disputes and legal fights, legal problems. Beneath that, let's see if we can get that in. We have the garden, the ship, and the child. So this could be in regards to rallies where people are transported, but those rallies could be small. Okay. Okay. There's Jen, I was saying, just like I said in part 1, there's a couple of women that show up with the law and in the courts in April that I can't tell who's who. There's one under here, here, and here. So is it Eugene Carroll? Is it Stormy Daniels? Well, we know Stormy Daniels for sure because that's already, he's got his date. Or is it Fannie Willis? Pick one because there's one under here, and one here in the column of April. So if there's rallies there, the garden is knighting over to the broom and whip. So that would be like a protest. Garden is an audience, a very large body of people. It's society, it's outdoor areas, it's networking. Okay. And broom and whip, like I discussed earlier, or even Fannie Willis. Yeah, I don't know. The Fannie Willis stuff is, I'm leaning more towards over here, but I could be wrong because there's just a cluster of women over here that I'm having a hard time picking apart. So if he speaks, man sitting in the house of birds, yappy, 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 to rile up protests, the protests are very small. And I said last time, I was like, I refuse to believe that this says innocent. I was like, I will riot, and like I said earlier in the live stream, that Marjorie Taylor Greene is trying to start a little protest field trip to New York on Tuesday. Since this is, let me move this down. Since this is a body of people by a large official building to argue, it's small here, small. Okay. Let me see. There was something else I was going to say. Oh, because of him yapping his mouth, it's almost like he gets put on notice and warned, because the man goes to the birds, then the heart, dog, stars, book, coffin, mountain. So that's the whole him and Weiselberg situation. Book, coffin, mountain, garden, fish, letter, tower. Okay. So garden, fish, letter, tower, there's something within the organization that the business organization campaign with the garden, campaign funds with fish, legal documents with letter and tower, and then woman, tree, house. So a woman that is very solid, that is very comfortable, clouds. Now clouds is usually hesitation, doubt, chaos, uncertainty. But like I said, the lilies can be quite literal. And this as a thing is bad weather. Cloudy weather, fog, so stormy. And then making him the defendant, the witness, but it's almost like the bird's knight's here to whip, it knights to snake, it knights to rider. Whip is sitting in house. What do you call this? Lilies. So it's almost like if he starts running his mouth, attacking the courts, attacking the grand jury, a large body of people in the courts, attacking the grand jury, okay, he's going to get put on notice. And when you wrap this around and you go this way, they're just going to keep adding to, let me move this back up, adding to charges. And there's something that will be taken away. Birds to key, key to mice. Wait, let me see. Put it this way. So it goes birds to key and then key to mice. And here is achieving more charges here where stuff is taken away. So you keep running your mouth, it adds to the charges. Does that make sense? It's almost like he's walking real close to that line, and it's almost like he says something and the retaliation is they add charges. So, and because the whip is over here, whip is knighting to mountain, whip is knighting to garden, whip is knighting to bear, whip is knighting to birds. So chronic obstruction, a chronic problem. This traditionally is also a dangerous enemy or a powerful enemy. Criticizing a large group of people that are violent and argumentative. Okay. Let me see. Pleasurable sex here. Abuse of power here. And abusing finances here. And verbally abusive. So he may be verbally abusive and go after the grand jury. But with that said, I don't see him confined, is what I'm saying. It's like they start taking away what he can say, and he continues to do it. So his persistence on it with the anchor, the persistence of it results in this right here. More gets stacked on top of what he's already facing. Does that make sense? Now these first three, I think I talked about it on part one. This is achievement here, or the arrival of something. So we're arriving at stuff that we've been waiting for a long time. Okay. The anchor is very slow. Okay. That is followed by the storks. The storks is progress. It's an escalation. It adds to, it's an improvement. Okay. So we've arrived at something where things are changing, but that change is going to take time with the lilies. Hey, Carol, how are you? So even if indictments start coming and hitting, that doesn't mean he's going to go to jail next week, next month, next Tuesday, a year from now. This is going to take a very, 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 very long time. Okay. Based on the timeline set for this tableau, I do not see him confined. He's still able, he's got restrictions, but he is not in prison, if that makes sense. And because this right here, the anchor has to do with your lifestyle. Okay. This is lifelong anchor. This here is the change of seasons. This here has to do with maturity, the lilies. You can't see that because of the glare, but this is lilies, okay? Because you have these two very slow cards boxing in the storks. It's almost like this is going to be his lifestyle for the remaining years he has left. It's just going to be a nightmare for him legally until he dies, until he goes bye-bye tickets to the park, because this is super slow moving, or at least for the timeline set in this tableau, if I'm making sense. I said that earlier, Freda. They start taking away what he can say, and he continues to do it. So it just adds to charges. Okay? This is always adding. So when you look here, he sits on house birds. Birds is over here. I can't look any further than that. Below it is key. There's something that he's saying that's very, 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 very significant to put himself out there and make himself the celebrity. He in the house of moon. Moon goes back to the house to man. Okay. So because I can't take this any further, I need to go to the corners. So in order for him to stop drawing attention to himself, possibly attacking the law, attacking the jurors, attacking everybody, and trying to stir up with the garden here, the garden and the broom and whip right here, stir up a mob again, or rile up the public, or get a large group of people angry and fighting. They start taking away what he can say, but he continues to do it, if that makes sense. So they just add to, and here's your charges. It just gets added to. So there's that. No, he's never going to shut up. Ever. But I think it's hilarious. I think it's absolutely hilarious. You know, he ran in 2016 on Lock Her Up. Karma, motherfucker. Karma. Like I said earlier in a grand tableau, when the tree is close, that's big red light on your health. The tree is also spirituality, growth, stability, something that's very, very solid. As a thing, as a spiritual thing, this is karma. Long awaited karma, motherfucker. Who was it that he was saying that should be executed? Was it the Central Park 5? Was it? A few years ago when he was running for president in 2016, saying that the Central Park 5 should be executed and this, that, and the other thing. And when they went and they asked one of the gentlemen from Central Park 5, you know what his answer was? Karma. When they said, what do you think about Donald Trump being indicted today in New York City? And all he said was karma. I said, you reap what you fucking sow. You reap what you sow. So it's like, things will progress, but they will progress slowly. Again, with these three, this is very slow. Think about when you put an anchor down on a ship. You're not moving. You might weave and bob and whatever, but you're not moving. This means that there's progress, but then it's followed by the lilies. The progress will continue to go. Things will move forward, but it's going to be slow, if that makes sense. Jenny was texting me the other day, and even when I was doing the part 1 on this on the 13th, somebody was asking about Jack Smith, and I was like, I don't know. And I kept staring at the chart here. The only person that I could possibly possibly think is Jack Smith, after staring at this, the chart, would be Lilies. And Lilies is the king of spades. And the only reason I say that is because if we look at this whole entire column, you see here the anchor knights down to the fox. Okay, this is persistent work, persistent investigations. Okay, into what? The elections, overturning the elections, fraudulent results for the elections, impeachment, a conspiracy to steal something that was widespread, okay, with an abundance of records. There was something also, records here that were obstructed in boxes, records that were stolen, records that are official and belong to the government in House Tower. Okay. This as a thing, the stars is vast and many. Stars sits on house book. Vast secrets, secrets that were exposed, opened up. Secrets as a thing, this would be satellites, images, radioactive technology. This is a weapon, nuclear weapons. And there was an abundance of them, So this, after looking at this, I would say this is more like Jack Smith. With that said, okay, this was his column for May. We are now here. You're looking at the map. We are here. This is April. Because this is the change of seasons, I'm not quite sure. If I count it this way, this is April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Jack Smith shows up in the column for October. Okay? But before that, there's these three columns here. So I'm wondering if it's because this is the change of seasons. At the change of seasons. And we are in the spring right now. I'm wondering if it's like the summer or like towards the end of summer. Because the sun is in its own house. Time-wise, this is during the hotter months. The bear, it's in its own house. Time-wise, that is 6 to 9 months, a bear's gestation period. The stork's change of season, 17 days on the 17th of the month, because it has to do with pregnancies, about 9 months. This is more like 6 to 9 months. So I'm trying to figure out when Jack Smith shows up and those charges start coming in. Because I got to wrap them around this way. Does that make sense? I got to go man over here and then come back to the beginning and go this way. But the whole Jack Smith situation is still a little ways off. And with this line right here, if this is Mike Pence and any other person that was in an executive position that helped Trump while he was in office, these people still have to talk this way. Okay? Because they're stars. The dog is in the house of stars. They are stars and they have knowledge. what is this? Stars and the House of Book over the dog. So it's almost like there's some, and then here with key, follow it up, key witnesses that have knowledge about what happened in regards to this whole entire fake elector stuff and suffering the elections and then the manipulation and the cheating right there. Okay, so no, I haven't done a GT on Garland. And I don't think Garland would go after Republicans himself. That he might contract that out to a special counsel. So yeah. Let me see. What else can I get out of this? You know what I would think is ridiculous and hilarious? If the strategy with the fox here, it's fox man, manipulative, cunning, shady, sneaky man who's looking for an exit from the charges this way. If the only excuse that they can come up with is a health matter, oh, you can't listen to what he says. He's out of his goddamn mind. The guy's crazy. He's old. He has dementia, you know? For a man that has gone for the last 6-7 years trying to puff himself up as a strong man, to have to eat his words and the only legal defense that he would have is he has dementia. You can't try him for this because he's fucking crazy. That would be hilarious. Hilarious. I would laugh. Like I said, if I was a better person, I wouldn't gloat. I wouldn't gloat, but I ain't Mother Teresa, and I will gladly kick that motherfucker in the teeth while he's down any chance I get, because I can't stand his ass. Yeah, Terry, mentally stable genius. Yeah. The mentally stable genius, his excuse in court to get out of indictments was, well, you can't listen to me. I have fucking dementia. Mm-hmm. What do you mean, Joanne, he could not run? Because I could have sworn that guy that was in the Republican field in the 2016 elections from Texas, brown hair, wore glasses. He was like a big energy tycoon. And then when he lost the nomination, he ended up working for the Donald Trump administration. What the hell was his name? Was it something? Was it Perry? Rick Perry. Chat. Wasn't he under indictment when he was running for president? Wasn't Rick Perry indicted while he was? I mean, hell, the attorney general in Texas is under indictment. He's just waiting to be convicted. But wasn't Rick Perry under criminal indictment while he was running for office in 2016? Yeah, he ran while he was indicted. Thank you, Terry. There is nothing in the Constitution that prevents a felon from running for president. Yes, Sunflower. See, so for everybody saying, oh, no, that'll stop him from running for office. Nope. History has proven you can have a felon sitting in fucking office. Look at Texas. They have an attorney general who has been indicted on felony charges, and he's still the attorney general. Rick Perry ran for president, and he was a convicted felon. So, hold on, you guys. I can't. This is all too funny to me. Hold on. Hold on, you guys. I need to get up for a second. My butt hurts. Sorry, I had to get some food. I threw it in the microwave, warming up leftovers. Let me see. Oh. So, everybody doing okay in the chat? Will Drumpy be tried as an adult? Yes, he will. A senior citizen with the lilies right there. Hey, Courtney. Yeah, this is part 2 of the grand tableau that we did on the, no, if you can see that, on the 13th. Because I had said in that grand tableau that I didn't know, I didn't see him in court for the month of March, but I saw him in court for the month of April, because this would be the month of March. April was right here. And he's going to the court. They're saying Tuesday, but who knows? Sometime next month, to be arraigned. So that shows. So we were just brushing up on that stuff. So let me see what else I can find in here. Hey, thanks, lucky girl. Part 1 of the grand tableau on the orange Cheeto. Yeah, and I want to thank Jen, because Jen was watching it the other day. I think at 1 hour and 23 minutes is when I say this could also be Weiselberg that starts talking and answering questions because of a financial advisor. So not just Pence and Mark Meadows and everybody else that was very close to him, that were in positions of power, but higher up executive positions. I read, when I went back and read this, as power or finance, financial advisor, financial guide. That's when I said Weiselberg. So, and I'll reiterate for those that are just coming in, it shows Weiselberg. This is the month that we're on right now. Okay. Shows Weiselberg 3 months ahead as a star witness, answering questions about the the infamous, because this is fame, the infamous person and what their negotiations and phone calls were about, how they were negotiating it. Now, hold on. Let me see. There's something here also. It's almost 8 o'clock here, so I'm having dinner. In the courts, let me move you guys down so we can look at the little box. Okay, so here's the court. We're going to box this in right here. Okay. There is trouble there because the corporate documents for the business create a lot of problems, and those funds are public. Let me see. Money that is public. So taxes, either state or federal, but there's taxes here. Money that's public, that have been manipulated. My side of distance from man, so he won't he won't recover what he lost. And also, this sits far with the anchor on top of it. The further the cross is, the heavier the burdens. With the anchor above it, persistent heavy burdens, persistent heavy charges. Okay? If that makes sense. So, birds is another card you don't want to have close in a grand tableau, but this one is far, so he's good there. So the exception to the negative cards, you would want the cross close, even though it doesn't take away the pain and suffering, but the closer it is, the less severe, depending on the surrounding cards. Mice, you want that closer as well, because something that was lost or stolen, you, depending on the surrounding cards, you have a better chance of getting it back, but it's out of reach. He's basically fucked. So how is he feeling? Well, he's here. We're going to follow his little line down. Oh, look at that. How is he feeling? The moon is in the house of man. So his feelings, we look to the right. Isolated. Pissed. Pissed. Argumentative. Striking out, hitting stuff, throwing stuff. With this here, coffin, depression. Coffin sits below him also, depression. He is not optimistic. The sun is out of reach. If it was closer, he would have optimism. So not very optimistic, even though he might fake it to make it, to raise money from the crowd. He's not optimistic. I think this is the first time where it's really sinking in that, oh, fuck. Yeah, catch up, Jenny. The whip, knight's over to the bear. Bear is food. Throwing food. Throwing food. Throwing ketchup, French fries, hamburgers. With the child right below the whip, dirty diapers. His McDonald's. His Kentucky Fried Chicken. He might be throwing something that is an electronic device, maybe a phone. Also, with the whip, knighting over here to birds, communicating something verbally like on a Twitter or his Truth Social or whatever, just going on freaking rampages. His Diet Coke, dirty diapers, Diet Coke, ketchup, Oreo cookies, his Dairy Queen. He would sell his mother to ISIS. Hamburgers. Yeah. He's feeling quite isolated. Very, very angry. KFC. Throwing his mashed potatoes at somebody. Let's see. Let me see what else I can see in here. Nancy says Trump's post he's sending out on his social media, he's losing it. That guy is having a tantrum and meltdowns. Oh yeah, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. His delicious chocolate cake. Man, don't abuse chocolate cake like that. That's just blasphemy. That's blasphemy. Let me see. What else should I look for in here, Jenny? Fishes in house letter. Fish in house letter to tower. Business records, but also public funds that have been manipulated and bring a lot of trouble. So not just the business records, but tax fraud. Yeah, I said that I think in part 1, didn't I, Jenny? Now, because the ring sits on house mice, mice sits on house ring. Let me put this up. This. God dang it. Okay. It is an agreement to work with the team to steal something. The mice is thievery, losses, anxiety. But it's thieving. Okay. I'm not a lawyer, but what does RICO stand for? Oh my God, lucky girl. When will Dumpy be wearing Johnny's table on his head and brandishing a knife on the front lawn at Mar-a-Lago? Soon. Racketeer, influenced, and corrupt organizations. Racketeering, influenced. You'll send the table to him? Johnny, I'm sorry. I didn't hear back from you, so I didn't send you a link. I'm so sorry. Racketeer, influenced, and corrupt organization. Mine says corruption. Hold on. Let me try it. It's going to drive me crazy. No, I need to go this way. Okay, there we go. This is corruption. An agreement to corrupt, an agreement to steal. Oh, you were in class? I'm so sorry. And then it took me forever to go live, Johnny. I was having all sorts of issues with YouTube getting on. And I was telling them earlier, I hadn't even been on for more than 3 minutes, Johnny. And when I went into YouTube Studio to check all my stuff, it said that this live stream is not, it's limited with ad revenue because it's not suitable for for advertisers. I was like, I've been on for less than 3 minutes. I didn't even say one bad word. Like I was just sitting here explaining to people why it was taking me so long. Nope, right out the gate. They were like, nope. Limited ad revenue. Let me see. So I don't know why. I always think of racketeering because it's got the word racket in there. So my brain thinks like a tennis racket, you know? So I always tend to associate in my head racketeering with the broom and whip because this is an action card just because of the action. When you're sweeping something or whipping, it's an action card. It has a pattern. So in my mind, I always associate it to this, but it's not. It's more like the ring and the mice together. Yeah, they demonetized me right off the bat before I even went live. You're cooking? Racketeering, a fraudulent business or organization. Well, is he going to get charged with that? Yep. But it comes around this way and it hits right here. This is where it hits on this line. And that is, thanks, lucky girl. We're here in April, May, June, July. This is August. But the one in August, if I look at this, it's more around elections and changing the results of something where that racketeering charge comes in. Am I making sense, Jenny? Because here it says persistent suffering that is very swift and very dangerous for stealing. The next column, changing elections. Desired, or something that he was desiring. For success. Guidance to manipulate the results and get more. Here, man sits in the house of birds, a phone call that he made. Okay, so when you look at this, there's something very persistent here, but this takes time. Something very persistent here, changing results. Hey, Azalea, thank you, of the election here. Fraudulent. The electors are fraudulent results here. And there's several penalties. There's more than one penalty for this, more than one charge here around this. Now, if I'm looking at pip cards, there's a woman here, a man here, and a man here. I can't tell you which one is Fannie Willis. This, I would think more like Jack Smith. But there's two women here too that may be involved in this case one way or the other. But also, no, I don't see that. I don't treason. I don't see it. This is an enemy. Mountain is enemy. You need these two here to be more like the Constitution. Okay? There may be something closer, because treason, you would need this closer to here, here and here. It's the cluster is too spread out. There may be a burden with the, God damn it, with the light. There may be a burden here. Okay. Around that. And it's also a little bit burdensome. That's why this, when you go, remember, he's going this way, Jen. So you come here and then you wrap back around here. These people here, once they testify, and they're going to have to squeeze their balls, okay, for these people to talk, because they're key witnesses, executives and other people in positions of power that were linked with the ring here, that were linked in with the conspiracy and had knowledge of what was going on and what happened in meetings and what they discussed, okay? That alleviates the burden, because there's a burden here that links him to the actual crowd of people to overturn something. The burden is less in regards to the coup d'etat with this. So it's like, we know he incited the insurrection. We know that all of that stuff happened at his bequest. He wanted the armed people to come in and everything. But it's almost like treason is too big of a burden. It's easier with these other pieces here, if that makes sense. The snake is not even part of that, and neither is the tower. You see, fox is in the house of whip. A pattern of fraud and manipulation with fox in the house of whip. Let me see. No, Garland and Smith aren't just after Trump. There's these other, here's Trump. Follow him this way. You have these other witnesses. The birds is card number 12. The pip is the 7 of diamonds, followed by the key, which is card number 3. This is a small meeting or a group of people. It's not as big as the garden. It's a smaller, more concentrated meeting of people. This could be 7 to 12 people, because birds is card number 12. 7 of diamonds is the pip. 7 to 12 people, but it can expand because dog sits in the house of stars, which is vast. Okay. Vast meetings, or vast groups of people that were meeting and negotiating to get answers and give him access. Key, which is the card of access, is number 33. So the war room on January 5th. 12 were at the meeting. Well, that would be birds. Birds is card number 12, pip number 7 of diamonds. So those people that were at the meeting, also people that made phone calls with the birds. Phone calls that were made with birds. So I'm looking at you, Lindsey Graham. I'm looking at you, Lindsey Graham, making all these phone calls to overturn the election and try to run like a clown No, I'm not going in and trying to say screw you to the subpoena until a judge had to force them. So, let me see here. So, if I am interpreting this correctly, and this is more like a Jack Smith, Merrick Garland type person, because it's the king of spades. The whole shebang bang right here. It's these three columns going down. Yep. Another reason why I would think that is because it sits above his head. Now, here's the thing, which I kind of find funny. Lily's is in a good position if it sits above the querent's head, usually meaning this is a person of good character and virtue. We all know this motherfucker ain't any of those things. Hey, Virgo. When the Lily's lands below, doesn't matter how far away, so long as it sits below the querent or the significator, it means a person of questionable morality. This motherfucker ain't got a goddamn thing to do with morals or ethics, okay? Also, now that I say ethics, if I don't read this, okay, as Merrick Garland and just look at what the card means, which is maturity, it's virtue, it's satisfaction, a person of good character, ethics, okay? There might be some sort of ethical investigation this way. Into the results of business while he was in office. How that happens, I don't know, unless it's brought up in the Senate. Unless it's brought up in the Senate. Because if this is ethics, well, there's ethical investigation. Here is the results, the test, mail, okay? This right here is business, money, transactions. And then right below it is clouds. So what was that thing? The emoluments clause? So that would have to be done in the Senate. Aside from that, another way to interpret that would be let me see. Okay. Man sits next to the bouquet. Bouquet is gifts. Okay. Gifts. Bouquet sits in house. Child. Innocent. Child sits in house. Cross. Guilt. Happy to take away the guilt and make somebody innocent. So there may also, and because the whip knight's here to bear sits in its own house. This would be like abuse of power. So as this thing moves around this way and it comes back around, part of this, if this turns out to be an ethical investigation, which like I said, I don't even know how the hell that would happen. It would have to be like, if I look at this as special counsel, then maybe it gets brought up in Jack Smith's investigation or whatever. But there's something here about gifting people innocence after they've been burdened. So pardons, gifting pardons. So there's a gift for innocent and then burden. Does that make sense? Burdens or suffering, gifting innocence. It's another way to read it. So there might be, and then here with the guilt and the gifting, you follow this down. It's part of some of the charges here. So perhaps it comes back around to him dangling pardons for people that were helping him overturn the election. Could also be in regards to this right here, independence. What's right next to it? Garden, an independent party, the Freedom Caucus. That is a bunch of fucking wackos right now. But that comes up way over here. We haven't even gotten here yet. So he needs to go and then come back around this way. So all those mofos that are sitting in a large body, okay, a large body of people, this is touching the tower, okay? So a large body of government, so like the House of Representatives, also because the Lilies is here, there's only, there's what, 500 members of Congress? Am I correct on that? And 200 in the Senate. The Senate is smaller in comparison. That may have asked for pardons. Hey, I did you a favor. Can you give me a blanket pardon? You know, in case I get my, in case I get charged for doing this shit, you know, I'd be shitting my pants if I were those people. They're not yet, but once it comes around this way, they're going to start losing their goddamn minds. This is abuse of power, weaponization of government, blah, 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 blah. Now, motherfuckers, there's nothing in the Constitution that says you can sit in Congress or the Senate and commit crimes and be immune. Okay? There's plenty of Congress people that have gone to jail. 100 in the Senate. Okay. 100 in the Senate and what is it? 500 in the House. Yeah, 2 senators from each state. Sorry, my brain is like stupid and I wasn't mathing right. So, but that was just the list of those that the January 6th hearing exposed. 435, okay. Close to 500. So the Senate in comparison is much smaller. It's the upper chamber. Big mouth abusive woman asked for a pardon. Get her. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I cannot wait. I cannot wait till that. I mean, I don't like to go after people for their looks. That's below the belt. But with that bitch right there, oh no, I will kick her in her nasty ass cooch all day, every day. Way below the belt. Because she's gross. She is gross. She over there trying to stir up a rally to go to New York. It's like, bitch, fuck around and find out when you go over there and do something stupid and get your ass arrested. But I cannot wait. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I would have to do a grand tableau on her, but Love to see that. Fishy Itchy Kitty. Yeah, that's her, Jenny. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. And I'm not here to, you know, I don't perpetuate violence or any of that stuff, but that girl right there, if somebody would just Ronda Rousey her right in the mouth one time, shut her the F up. Seriously. And it was funny too, when she held that press conference, And that guy, just recently, like a week or two ago, she held a press conference and somebody was blowing a whistle again. And so she went on a media tour and was all over Twitter. I was attacked. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this coming from the bitch that chased down a minor, chased him down, yelling and screaming at him with cameras after that child survived a mass shooting. And she's going to go over there and cry and scream about she was attacked by a guy with a fucking whistle. Like, it's always the bullies that are the biggest fucking cowards ever. And she is just disgusting. Disgusting. She turned him into the police. What did the police do? Laugh at her? It's like, bitch, you can't send people to jail for blowing a whistle. Yeah, David Hogg from Florida. After he just survived a mass shooting and she chased that kid down the street yelling and screaming at him with cameras on her, saying that was a setup, that wasn't real, that was a false alarm, false flag operation, that it's an 18-year-old kid who just survived a mass fucking shooting. I was like, that girl's lucky I wasn't that kid's mom, because I would have gladly went to jail for beating the fuck out of her. Like, that's just wrong. You see? But that's all over on this portion of the stuff. Okay? Now, yeah, Darren, she's beyond evil, And what's incredibly sad is just how fucking stupid she is. She's stupid. Like, she is beyond stupid. Like, she's got one brain cell and that thing is on fucking life support. I'm telling you. It's on life support. That girl's just dumb. But cruelty sells for the GOP. Cruelty, kicking down on people. And here's another thing. We just had another mass shooting in Tennessee at a Christian school. Tennessee just loosened all their gun laws. The girl I just saw on Twitter today, the girl that was the mass shooter in Tennessee, which is odd because to my knowledge, from all the mass shootings that have been reported at schools and everywhere else, this is the first time I've seen it be a girl. I could be mistaken, but this is the first female that comes to mind as a mass shooter. They've mostly been white males. Well, that girl was under, I wouldn't say surveillance, but she was being watched because she had mental health issues. Well, guess what the GOP did? Guess what the GOP did? The GOP loosened all the red flag laws in Tennessee, gave everybody freaking guns. And the only reason they're saying anything about this is because she was a transgender. That's the only reason why. The only reason why they have an issue, because it's a transgender. It's like, and they're still wearing their AR-15 pins in Congress. I mean, that is beyond sick, man. It's just like, oh my God. That transgender person had red flags all over the place for mental health issues. Went and bought, what was it, like 7 guns from 7 different places or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that, Jen. He's like, yeah, well, I homeschool my kids. Oh, that's fucking lovely, you piece of shit. I'm so glad to see you're so fortunate that you can just have your wife at home with your 300 kids, just homeschooling them. You know what? But you know what, Jen? You know what? That feeds perfectly into the GOP plan to get rid of all public schools. They don't like public schools. What's a better deterrent than having your kids go there and get used as target practice for the next unstable person? Got to get rid of the schools. It's not the guns doing it. It's the gays. It's the transgenders. It's the abortions. It's the books. The books are what are killing kids, you know, and the schools. It's not the guns. It's the schools. So let's just, you know, GOP logic. Let's just get rid of schools. Like, really? That's freaking sad, Jen. His mom was a public school teacher and she was your trig teacher. How does that help when that's at a Christian school? Good question. Oh, you know what it is? Because we don't have enough Christian schools. Because if we just stopped educating our kids, and instead indoctrinate them, so we had more people in this country praying, and we just got rid of public schools and everybody just got indoctrinated into our version of Christianity, then that'll stop the mass shootings. After we ban the books and ban the gays and ban the transgenders and ban the brown people and ban women from having their own reproductive rights, and we just indoctrinate everybody into our version of Christianity, then that's what, and ban schools and all that other stuff, then it'll stop. Oh, and doors. The problem is the doors too. It's the doors. And I loved it when I saw Jeanine Pirro. There was a clip of her going around on Twitter about it's the doors, it's the doors, it's the doors. Yeah. This last shooting, the person shot off the freaking locks. Like, if guns don't kill people, people kill people. Oh, that's great. So let's just give everybody more guns than everybody else, you know? Oh, I just saw today, was it Minnesota? Can't remember if it was Minnesota. It was one of those Midwestern states somewhere, Minnesota or somewhere. Their local state government just decided, oh, by the way, we're not giving any money to public libraries. Every public library in that state will be shutting down because they're not being funded by the state, period. And they're seeing it as retaliation because people were suing, sending lawsuits to the state for book bans. So their resolution is, hey, fuck it. We're just not gonna fund you. We're just gonna shut down the libraries. I can't remember if it was Minnesota or somewhere, but yeah, they're going to be shutting down public libraries because they are being zero funded. Don't ban books and drag queens. Just approach those issues the same as guns, with thoughts and prayers. Yeah. Yep. And then there's that whole thing in Utah where Utah was going on a book buying ban because parents parents didn't even have to read the goddamn books. They would just send it to the school and say, oh yeah, ban this book, you know? And so this one parent got fucking pissed off and wrote to the same board and said, oh yeah, ban the Bible. Here's 45 pages of what every single instance in this book, based on your law, this goes against your law. And now they're crying, oh my God, I can't believe they want to ban the Bible. It's like, you wrote the law, dumbasses, you know? I mean, can you guys just imagine the kind of country these people want to live in, where everybody is uneducated? There's no education. It's just religious indoctrination. Women have no rights. They're at home barefoot pregnant with 30 kids. Men and kids are running around with guns everywhere. Okay. Your whole state is fucking polluted to shit because they want to deregulate everything. Okay. You're poor as fuck because every business with a brain has left your state because they don't want to do business with people where you're treating your citizens like it's a third world country. You know, I mean, what is that? You know, sounds like dystopia to me, but to them, it's like, you know, it's bliss. Yeah, a Wisconsin school banned kids from singing Dolly Parton's song about Rainbow Land. Yeah, with Miley Cyrus. Yep. Because Dolly Parton has done more for people and organizations and individuals than any of those fake Christians would have ever done. Oh, sunflower. That just makes too much sense. So of course we're not going to do that. We're just going to make everybody put more doors on stuff. You know? Oh my God. And then the whole argument of, well, we just need more good guys with guns. The report just came out from Uvalde. That report just came out from Uvalde. And that report explicitly says that the cops were scared shitless about going into that school with one man armed with an AR-15. So one man with an AR-15 and a whole slew of cops is sitting outside while parents are standing outside freaking out and breaking into the school while their kids are being mowed down. You know? So the whole good guy with the gun argument is just this right here. Dolly Parton is such a good person. It's like anything that they don't like, they want to ban. You know, it's like, you don't want to read that book. You don't want your child reading that book. That's fine. Don't let your child read that book, but don't take that choice away from everybody else. You know, don't take that choice. If I want to sit there and read a satanic Bible, that's on me. I do not have the right to go shove it down everybody else's throat. But at this point, it's like, maybe that's the only option left, you know, because these people don't understand. They do not understand that just because you don't want to do something doesn't give you the right to force everybody else to do it too. Yes, Jenny. Yes. Kind of like what Disney just did to Ron DeSantis, when Ron DeSantis was trying to strip Disney of all its power and take all the way their tax whatever, and Disney is hosting a huge gay pride or gay parade in Disney. And then the Disney board went and kicked off all of Ron DeSantis's people off the board. It's like, but here's the thing. You getting petty with Ron DeSantis, but you're just going to turn around and donate a shit ton of money to Republicans. Why? Because they give you tax breaks. You know, so, I mean, I'm here for the petty, but put your money where your mouth is too, you know? Let me go put this up real quick. Sorry I had to go on a rant, but it was just like, hold on, I gotta get it. I'm stuck. What the hell? Hold on. I went to the store today to get snacks for the game tomorrow. And what sucks is they make you, Dodger Stadium is making people, well, they've been doing it for like the last couple of years. We have to wear clear, if a woman is bringing in a purse, it has to be clear, see-through. And, which I got to go find where I put mine last time. But, no, he's not, that's not, it would be Lily's sunflower. But I bought snacks for the game tomorrow. But what sucks is now that I have to use a clear bag, Peanut's going to see all my snacks and he's going to eat them all. That's what sucks. Yeah, Disney retains their power until all of King Charles III's descendants are dead. Yep. That was a big FU to the aspiring little Nazi in Florida. His poll numbers are freaking going down so bad. And he hasn't even officially announced that he's running. I'm like, please make that your candidate for 2024. For the love of God, please. For the love of God. Because that little Nazi ain't going nowhere. Nowhere. So, any other questions for this one? And like I said, I'm not sure if Fannie Willis shows up next month too, or if that's a little bit down the road. So that line with you have to read the whole line. The writer, Bear, Ring, and Son, news or feedback about financial ties, financial commitments that brought him a lot of success. It came from abusing government. His success was derived from abusing the government and institutions, and also abusing funds that are public for the government. Yeah, lucky girl. I mean, everything about this guy is so karmic and fucking laughable. Laughable. And then, they're all over there like, so he paid hush money, blah, 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 blah. Lindsey Graham was on TV like almost in tears. And it's like, hold on. I was young. I was real young when Clinton was in office. But wasn't Lindsey Graham one of the ones that spearheaded the campaign about impeaching Bill Clinton for getting a blowjob? Difference is Bill Clinton got a blowjob. That's it. Donald Trump got maybe 1.2 seconds before he busted his nut and then paid the women, actually women, to keep their mouth shut, and then falsified business records, and then falsified records for his campaign, and then wrote it off as a business expense. So he cheated on taxes. I'm sorry. There's a difference between a blowjob and all that. So, I don't think it was 2 inches, Kathy. It's probably like 2 centimeters. Or Okay, that's being generous. Maybe like 1 centimeter. $130,000 each. Yeah. Yeah. Clinton lied about getting blown, but that was the extent of it. That was the extent of it. He got blown a few times and then lied about it. This guy paid for them to shut up and didn't stop there. He falsified all his business records, cheated on his business records, lied about it on his taxes, lied about it on his campaign financial records. So there's a difference between lying about having an affair and then falsifying business records, cheating on your taxes and everything else. One is a felony. The other one is just, you're a fucking idiot, So, and exactly, Jenny, and Bill Clinton didn't pay for a blowjob. So there's a difference. Yeah, he used campaign money. And there's something here. This is a large outdoor area. Okay. Let me see. So those business records may somehow be tied and linked to like somewhere where he has property that is a large business, has a large outdoor area. So it may tie back to something where they linked it to his property as well. And there's another one he paid off 150. Well, there was the Stormy Daniels, and then the the other lady that was the bunny, the Playboy bunny, right? McDougal. There you go, lucky girl. Because there's 3 women here. This would be more like his wife. There's one here, and there's one here. And there's sex right here. She nights to it, and she's close to it. And it's right next to the finances. Woman, and then finances. So there's 2. I'm just having a good old time. And then they're trying to sweep it under the rug as what is it that they're calling it? Like he filed his paperwork wrong. And it's like, that's a lot of paperwork and a lot of shady ass business. By the way, Michael Cohen recorded the conversations where Donald Trump was like, yeah, just pay her in cash. And Michael Cohen was like, no. Hey, J-Lo. But they're trying to say, how are they trying to spin it? A records keeping mistake or something like that. It's like, that's a lot of records when you're talking about how he defrauded the campaign, how he falsified business records, how he falsified taxes, One simple way to read that column: family, lied, opportunity, sex, child. That's this column. And remember, that came up, was it last week or the week before? And I had gotten coffin, stork, something. I was like, there was something that ended or, but it was a question about Eugene Carroll. And I got the coffin and storks, something else. And I said that there was something that had died or had ended, but it comes back again. And it was about abuse with the child, sex with a child or something like that. And then that's when you told me about the case of that Jane Doe girl from yeah. Oh, we asked about Jane Doe too. Okay, because that I remember that one came up on a Sunday Night Live as my answer to a question about E. Jean Carroll. And then later we asked about the Jane Doe, the 13-year-old girl. She was either 13 or, and it would be funny because child is number 13. Let's see if it'll focus. I hope you guys can see that, but that's number 13. So, and uncertainty. There's a park, travel, traffic, and child. Okay. This right here, a friend, but it is a friend of his that has been distanced over time. Okay. Because of the distance here. If this dog were closer, they'd be closer friends. Okay. A friend, ring, sex, traffic. It's hitting this diagonal right here. I hope you can see that. Friend, ring, sex, traffic, children. Also, this person is not close to coffin. Okay. So this person, we could be talking about Epps, and it could also be another person. This person here had something to do with financing, a spokesperson of some kind. Guess what I just saw the other day? Or was it today? Hold on. Let me go on the Google machine because I just saw that today. Thank you for reminding me, because that's another way to interpret that line on the diagonal. Let me see. Let me see. Hold on. Let me get you a name real quick. Anton Tony Lazzaro. Anton Tony Lazzaro. Okay. Was convicted today with 7 counts involving commercial sex acts with 5 minors ages 15 and 16 in 2020 when he was 30 years old. His indictment touched off a political firestorm that led to the downfall of Jennifer Carnahan as chair of the Republican Party in Minnesota. He is a GOP donor, okay? A GOP donor faces trial on charges of sex trafficking minors. Minneapolis. This guy's name, again, is Anton Tony Lazzaro. His co-defendants are Gisela Castro Medina, who formerly led the college Republican chapter and the University of St. Thomas, has pleaded guilty to 2 counts last year. And she is cooperating with prosecutors and will testify against him. She is facing sentencing in August. Okay. Lazzaro is denying any sex trafficking allegations, yada, yada, yada. The prosecutors are saying it's simply a sex trafficking case. They have not signaled any intent to call political figures as witnesses. God damn it. So Lazaro. Yep. So there was that guy that just got busted. Let me see. What's his name? Tony Lazaro. Yep, 6 hours ago, found guilty on all counts in federal sex trafficking. And he was a GOP operative. Remind me again, please, remind me again how the books and the transgenders and the gays are grooming our children. They all seem to be coming from the Republican Party. Just saying. Just saying. So, yeah, Tony Lazaro. Just Google the name. But and then here, I think we talked about that news or feedback about his financial agreements to get him success and more power. So, and there's that one that on the diagonal. Oh, let's see. There's pictures of Lazaro standing right beside Trump, because this doesn't look, I mean, it could be Epstein if it's tied to the Eugene Carroll case, but this person has finances, large loads of money. And this person had a sex ring trafficking children. So I don't know what the link is there, because we can go man to dog, to key to moon. Very important friendship and all for his fame. This way, this person gave him a lot of fame. This way and this way, it could be him and this guy communicating, but then there's some sort of blockage or obstacle. And then in that context, this way there was gifts, and then trouble and lying about something financial to this person. So maybe there is something there. Oh, he was also a fan of Epstein's? Well, I mean, that makes perfect sense. So, yeah, please tell me again how the books and the queer folk and the transgender are grooming our children. Because every article I find, it's always a Republican or always some holier than thou Christian preacher getting busted. So, hold on. I'm going to go throw some cookies in the oven, you guys. Give me a second. So, what else can we ask? What else can we ask? So, so I'm wondering what the link is there. I'm wondering because, you know, unless this could be like a Matt Gaetz as well, because Matt Gaetz was proven innocent, or he's not going to be charged for the whole thing with that Greenberg guy in Florida, but this could also apply to him. A friend in a sex trafficking ring of minors with child right next to it could also be Matt Gaetz, or it could be that guy. I don't know. There's too many pedophiles in that party to keep track of everybody. Let me see. Let me see. Thanks, lucky girl. What else? Let me see. Over on this way, we can see that the suffering here brings a lot of generosity for an abundance of popularity and donations to his campaign. This is catty cornering the garden. You can't see it. Let me see. But this diagonal here, I think we talked about that in part 1. Once the indictment starts coming, it's going to be a series of unfortunate events because it's stars and then clouds. So it just steamrolls. Also with these, I think we talked about that earlier also, moving forward, this is just going to be a persistent, slow progression of problems for him and indictments and burdens and everything else for the remainder of his miserable fucking life. You know, how old is Trump? How old is Trump? Does anybody know? '76. So he's 76 years old. 76, 78. Somewhere around there. Okay, someone's saying 76. Okay, so 70. Let me just freaking Google. Let me just Google. 76 years old. June 14th, 1946. He's 76 years old. With the amount of shit, and we all know justice doesn't move fast. It don't move fast. Whatever time he's got left. I'm not predicting death or anything here. It's just going to be a slow progression of just problems. Big ones. Big. So. Let me see what else I can find here. Yep. I think that's all. As more comes out, I have it in my notes. But we are here for April. This is where we are on the map. So that's where we are on the map. So we shall see. We shall see. I hope it's just miserable. Wait a minute. I got a question, you guys. I ain't no lawyer. Considering he's being booked this month in April. There's reporting that it's like 34 counts of falsified business records. However, that stuff is under seal. It hasn't been announced yet. So where this reporting is getting its numbers from, I have no idea. I'm going to be a bit skeptical until the news actually does come out. Okay. Now, it's looking like it's going to be, oh my God. Sorry, Jen. It looks like it's going to be felony charges. Okay. Not misdemeanors. Because I remember when I did the part 1 and I saw this and it was child in the house of cross, I was like, that better not be a misdemeanor. I was getting pissed. Now that I look at this again, sorry to go off the rail here. I'm wondering if there's also something that is discovered where we talked about gifting innocent to the guilty pardons, because this line here has to do with the campaign. This is commerce with the ship, and fish is right here. I'm wondering if they're also going to find something in his campaign money or something else to where he wasn't just gifting innocence for people that were burdened. There could have been money that went into the campaign. So money for pardons in some way, shape, or form, and then lied about the finances here. So paying for pardons, if I'm wondering if that's also going to be a theme that comes up. So there's a difference between lobbying for a pardon and getting checks. Also, who was in charge of the pardons? Wasn't it Mr. Eyebrows over there, Jared Kushner? He might want to watch his back. Because I'm not a legal expert, but there's something funny about paying somebody to get a pardon. And by the looks of this, he might have brought it into the campaign one way, shape, or form, and then falsified that as well. Because it's a gift, innocence, and then guilty. But those gifts are false. And then there's the finance guy. So I'm wondering if paying for pardons was getting washed through his campaign and they were just doing all sorts of weird shit with it. So who knows? We'll see. But what was I saying? Oh, so since it's looking like it's going to be felony charges, I'm only asking because he's got the tree above his head. Tree is number 5. What happens? And he sits on house birds. And then he blocks here. And he brings something to an end. Closes here. Okay. Stone walls and closes. Shuts it down. What if this is a felony? what happens if a person pleads the fifth in a criminal felony trial? Does anybody know? In criminal, no inference of guilt. What does that mean, lucky girl? If this is a criminal felony trial, he's being charged with felonies and he just pleads the fifth, tries to stonewall, doesn't answer, da 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 da. What does that mean? No inference of guilt. Like what? In civil, an inference of guilt can be implied by the jury. Okay, so what does that mean in criminal? No inference of guilt. Why am I dumb and I just don't get it? So in criminal, no inference of guilt can be taken by the jury if the fifth is used. Okay, doesn't bode well for the jury, but the prosecutor has the burden of proof. Well, if this is the burden, they got it, Donald. He's a one-trick pony. You know, he's not very smart. He only learned from Roy Cohn to get somebody else to do your dirty work. Don't keep any records. Don't send emails. Don't put anything in writing. Let somebody else be the fall guy. And if you get caught, plead the fifth, plead the fifth, plead the fifth, plead the fifth. You know, that's the only strategy, really. But if that's the case, then these are witnesses that answer questions, that have knowledge. They have answers and evidence here. And there's witnesses, a witness, several witnesses. The Birds is usually an older couple. So a man and a woman in their old age, but a couple. So there could be two, maybe more, that answer and have evidence and questions about how they were involved in the agreement of criminality. So even if he does, there's this here. Well, if he's trying to cover something up here, it comes out here. So with the anchor, the book, the key, and the mice, being persistent about keeping something secret, well, the answer comes out. And the answer is thievery and criminality. That was agreed upon. So even if he doesn't answer, this last line right here provides the answer. There's witnesses and people that testify, either in the Stormy Daniels case or in the Fannie Willis case, or in the Jack Smith case, or in the civil lawsuits against him. Because down here, we're also seeing an abundance of civil lawsuits. Civil, a large party, a rally, where it was violent around a Capitol, lawsuits, civil lawsuits around a rally, and the chaos that happened there. Tower, nights to clouds, that's death. Above it, coffin, death. Seriously injured, also. These two, death and serious illness and death. Around where there was a crowd of people, gas. This would be something gaseous, gas, crowds, knighting to whip, angry, fighting. People that traveled that were little. Do you see what I'm saying? So you can plead the fifth in civil or federal all you want. There's still this right here. Sorry. So yeah, they do have a common thread. This thug right here. That thug right there. Hold on. My cookies are done. I need to, I'm going to Google real quick. Hold on. Let me see. What did you say? Secret Service would be something like this. A secret guard. Could be something like that. This would be a protector, a guard. So a secret guard. In that case, we could interpret this last line here as a secret guard, something that was very important on phones or very important phone calls and communications with these people here. Okay. Let's see. What happened? I'm missing part of the conversation. Just let me see. And now Letitia's going after the monetary stuff, the defrauding of New York taxes. Yeah. Because this bottom portion here, we're looking at Trump.org, his campaign, fraudulent business records, civil lawsuits, which would include Letitia James, also public people, civil, for something that happened in a rally that caused death and illness because of abuse and fighting that came from a mob. Okay. But that's all down here in this portion. Okay. But see, that's the thing, man. This guy doesn't know anything. He's been a thug his entire life and nobody has ever taken him up to task. Ever. Ever, 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 ever in his entire miserable life. He's just paid people off. He's paid off, when his kids got in trouble for Trump Soho, guess what? Michael Cohen paid the previous attorney general a nice big check and he just, oops, yeah, we're not going to pursue. What was his name? The guy that was attorney general before Alvin Bragg, the guy that just retired. And then that guy got caught, returned the money and said, yeah, sorry, that had nothing to do with me letting these kids off the hook. So it's just the way that he played it back then. He just paid everybody off and continued to commit all the crimes he wanted and never held to account. Except this time he became president, and instead of not being an asshole, he went and stuck his freaking orange dick in everybody's face. And now the whole world hates him, so there's nothing that people want more. And then not only that, but it was a blatant crime spree, just blatant, unapologetic crime spree for the last God knows how many years, So there you go. Cyrus Vance. Yep. That guy. He had Trump's kids by the balls for Trump Soho. Had him by the balls. Michael Cohen admitted, oh yeah, I wrote him a check for his campaign, and oops, the charges were dropped. So, and I know everybody's saying Michael Cohen is an unreliable witness, yada, 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 yada. But the guy is saying that this is not a court of law. This is just me. The guy said, yeah, I paid Cyrus Vance and he dropped the charges. So is that all? Yeah, let me see if I can, hold on. Let me see. Everything right now that's showing up is about his upcoming indictment. Hold on. Okay, it goes back to 2017. Hold on. Cy Vance also failed to prosecute Weinstein too. It was reported here last week, this is from the New Yorker, that in 2012, Vance ordered his prosecutors to drop a promising criminal fraud investigation against Ivanka Trump and Donald Trump Jr., who were suspected of misleading potential buyers of condos in the Trump Soho building. The order came after their father's attorney, Mark Kasowitz, paid Vance a visit. Soon after Vance's office dropped the investigation, Kasowitz donated and raised a combined total of more than $50,000 for Vance's reelection campaign. So I'm sorry, it wasn't Michael Cohen. It was Michael Cohen that said this other guy, Mark Kasowitz, was the one that paid off Cy Vance to drop the charges against Ivanka and Trump Jr. Immediately on the heels of those revelations came explosive reports in this magazine and in the Times of the film executive Harvey Weinstein's alleged sexual harassment and assault of multiple women in the course of 3 decades. And Cy Vance didn't do a fucking thing. Why? Because he got paid. So, but that's how Trump was used to doing business. He just sent his lawyers, paid people off, you know, or just tied things up in the courts so bad that you either bankrupted the people that were filing charges against him, or, you know, but at least now him and his lawyers are being sanctioned. So that's nice. Because this guy has done nothing at all his entire life other than abuse the legal system, because he can, and nobody has ever done a goddamn thing. He's abused it beyond anything that should be considered reasonable. So, but that's all I got, you guys. And it's 9:17 and I've been on for almost 3 hours. So yeah, but I have my notes. If anything happens, so I'm going to go now. I won't be on tomorrow because I'll be at the Dodgers game, but I would be interested in looking at some of these clowns in the GOP simply because of these 3 lines coming down this way. And also gifting innocence to the guilty. And the gifts are close to the entourage here. How many people was it reported that asked for pardons? Because this is number 9. Child is 13. Cross is 36. Does anybody know how many members asked for pardons? Was it 6, 9? There was 9 of them. Spirit Watcher, 9. Y'all see that? And that's the chain. Bouquet, which is card number 9. Child, which is card number 13. Cross, which is number 36. So this would be like a favor, a gift to clear you of a burden or guilt, make you innocent. That number 9 is real close to the house. Okay? And it's sitting on this line. And this is the whole election fuckery right here. So, I'd be interested to look at those sometime perhaps coming up next week, because I think now that things are developing and it shows over here, that it would be somewhat safe. So, and also with those pardons that I was saying, gifting innocence to the guilty, relieving them of guilt, okay? Those gifts, fraud or not fraud, there's causes problems with his finances and the advisor. So to our knowledge, he didn't, those 9 people that asked for pardons that were in the house, they didn't get him. His counsel advised him against it. But there's something here about pardons that may have gone into his campaign and then shuffled around and cleaned around and cycled somewhere back to him. So do you think he reported that income? Fuck no, chat. No, of course not. Of course he didn't. That would require honesty. And that's something this man is not well acquainted with. So we'll look at that probably sometime next week. We'll have to go find the names of the people that were reported. I know Marjorie Taylor Greene was one. I know that Matt Gaetz was another one. Just a bunch of those clowns. So yeah, we'll look at that. Jim Jordan was another one. Yep. So we're missing 6 more. Yeah, the one where Roger Stone is filmed telling someone $100,000 for a pardon, that was Goldstein, Matt Gaetz's friend in Florida, when he was calling for a pardon because he just got busted on child sex trafficking. So, but that's very interesting that the number popped up right there. Number 9. 9 gifts of innocent to those that sacrificed and will be burdened. So, all right, you guys. Well, I'm going to shut up and go now. It was great hanging out with you. I hope everybody had a good time. Sorry about my rant that I went on earlier, but it happens. It happens. Hope to see you all next week. Hope I don't have the same damn issues with the YouTube. All right, you guys. Good night. Bye-bye. Everybody stay safe.